Greetings, everybody, and welcome. Welcome not only to this evening's stream, but apparently also to a new Twitch layout. Yeah, I didn't know this was coming, but I only just found out about it at the beginning of this stream. Apparently they updated it sometime in between the previous stream and this one, and I'm only just looking at it now. I'm just looking at the at my Twitch channel page, and honestly, it doesn't look all that different. Anyway, how is everyone this evening? I managed not to start quite as late today as I did yesterday, or this morning, technically. Well, Dandy Wizard Mobile always gets the short end of the stick. Not only in terms of UI, but in terms of functionality and just stuff working properly. Oh good, Denim, that seems to be a first according to you. I'm glad you're doing okay. Take it while you can get it, I guess, eh? They just erased all the lines that you're supposed to use to color in? What? Well, Abyssal Denizen, it sounds like you're making some positive changes. And if that's the case, then I'm glad to hear it. Change is something that isn't easy for pretty much anybody. Well, for most people anyway, and I guess it depends on the kind of change, but in general, change is difficult. But sometimes it's also necessary. Sometimes in order to get off of a bad or unhealthy track in life, you have to make some changes, or at the very least embrace them. So as difficult as it might be now, it sounds like things are going to get better if you stick with it. So hang in there, Abyssal Denizen. Sorry to hear that, Waifung, but I know the feeling. I can relate. Borderlines appear to be absent. Oh, okay, Aretsu. Yeah, I haven't really had time to analyze it properly. But I'll be able to take a closer look when I'm done streaming, and I don't have more important things to focus on. Hello, bad guy! It's been a while. How have you been? I don't know, Bone. I am not even sure if he appears in this game. Or if he was introduced in the third one. They show him in the cover art, I think. Oh, wait, no, I guess they don't. I guess they don't show the cover art in the New Game Select screen. Oh, he's 3, okay. Oh, that's good to hear, bad guy. I'm glad you've been keeping yourself enjoyably occupied. Oh, okay, Denim, interesting. I wonder what brought on that choice. No problem, Alex. Goodness knows you've been staying here probably a lot later than you should in your time zone. Well, our time zone. Poland... Is Poland an hour ahead of Germany, or are you guys in the same time zone as us? Anyway, get some rest, Alex. Thank you so much for stopping in. It's always good to see you, but go sleep. Okay, yeah, that's what I thought, Alex, but sometimes I just can't remember. The older I get, the worse my memory of these sorts of things seems to become. Anyway. Yeah, I know that, Dandy Wizard, but I can never remember exactly where the time zone change occurs. in terms of latitude. Good night, Alex. I'm sorry to hear you're ill, Synoptic Error. I hope you feel better. I guess this is where we left off. Canada? No, handsome one. I am in Berlin. Hello, Java Man. Welcome. Yeah. What? Yeah, Java Man, everyone's been saying that. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, Synoptic Error. But you know what they say, in sickness and in health, right? Denim, the date that just flashed by should give you some indication. We're on, I think, the 21st of June. So, like, technically the third day of the case, I believe. Prosecutor von Karma? You mean... No, I heard it's his successor this time. Successor? Manfred von Karma was a really sinister man. Yeah, boy, ain't that the truth. He pulled all sorts of nasty tricks all so he could win. He was a man obsessed with the word perfection. He had a perfect record for 40 long years. Who knows what sorts of dirty tricks he used to get each of those guilty verdicts? Yes, Denim, we did. And now his successor, I wonder what kind of person they will turn out to be. That was the first case, Denim. This is the second. It's no good. Mystic Maya! Pearly... What? Wait a minute. Wait a damn minute here. You showed up! Thanks for coming all this way! I was really worried about you. Hey, where's your mother? Didn't you two come together? Mother is watching over the trainees. She said they have training for 2 days straight with no breaks. Huh? Then you came all okay. Yup, I snuck out of the manor and followed a map. Don't tell me you walked all the way here. Of course not. Okay. This is bullshit. Phoenix had to spend 2 hours on a train to get to Kurain Village. And you're telling me this 7-year-old girl picked up a map and ran on foot the equivalent of a 2-hour train journey to get to Los Angeles. And you didn't think I would notice this, Capcom? I can't, oh my, if it, oh yeah, they even acknowledge it, okay. If it takes 2 hours by train, oh man. Pearly, what about the train? Huh? What's a train? I give up. It's time, isn't it? I'm really scared. What if Von Karma tries to do something to me? least I know Mr. Edgeworth would be nicer to me than Von Karma. Mr. Edgeworth. Who is that? He's Nick's rival. Well, he's also a friend. What? Okay. I still remember him as though I'd seen him only yesterday. Every trial was a scorchingly fierce battle until the very end. Oh, this is what we're doing now. Okay. It was always back and forth with them, but when you're rivals for life... Maya! Please don't mention that name ever again. What? Huh? But why, Nick? I'm sorry, Maya. I forgot you don't know. He's gone, and he's not coming back. What? What? Wait a second. What's that supposed to mean? Court will commence shortly. Please proceed into the courtroom. Let's go. Now's not the time to talk about that anyway. Nick? Okay, what's going on with Edgeworth, I wonder? Did he go off and get a job as a short-order cook? Court is now in session for the trial of Maya Fey. Are the prosecution and the defense prepared? There she is. What is with this kid? Ahem, Mr. Wright, are you prepared? Huh? Yes, Your Honor. Why does he always seem mad at me? Mr. Phoenix Wright. Huh? You must be a little shocked because I am a woman, correct? No. So she's the famed successor to Prosecutor Von Karma? I am Franziska Von Karma the Prodigy. I see. I gave up a promising career in Germany and came to this country for one sole reason. Revenge. Oh yeah, the whip. This is probably one of the single biggest Phoenix Wright memes on the internet. Revenge? This is about her father, Manfred Von Karma? If it's something of a personal nature, I'm sure you can... Ow! I'm talking! You interrupt again, my whip will do the speaking for me. Please speak with your mouth like a normal person, I beg of you. Also, how did they even allow her into the courtroom with that thing? What the hell is security doing? Sitting there on their thumbs, watching YouTube? What? Oh shit, Denim, she's safe on block. How am I gonna... I'm gonna have to use command grabs to get in then. Just gonna have to spam that suplex. Sure is a good thing I'm a Zangief main. Make no mistake, I will defeat you. Prepare to go down, Mr. Phoenix Wright. Denim knows. Prosecutor Von Karma, your opening statement, please. Those of Von Karma blood have only one fate, and that is perfection. Defendant Maya Fey will find no escape from her guilt on my watch. Very well, what is the defense's position? Your Honor, does the defense wish to enter a plea of not guilty? Yes. Foolish fool who foolishly dreams of foolish... What? Okay. 10 minutes. I give the defense 10 minutes before it changes its plea. Oh, this again? Clearly you weren't here when your father tried this line. That's right, I'll have you running for the justified self-defense plea in no time. No, because justified self-defense means the defendant is admitting to having killed somebody. Justified self-defense. Oh, here we go. Are we going to get... A plea usually reserved for when a person unintentionally kills in defense of themselves. We could very easily make a solid case that it was self-defense, but... The defense stands by the plea of not guilty, Your Honor. Because to plead justified self-defense is to say you did kill someone. How foolish. If that's how you want to play it, Mr. Phoenix Wright, then I shall now call the first witness. She's just as scary as her father. Like father, like daughter, I suppose. I've noticed this, Hedgehog. Witness, your name and occupation. Yes, sir, my name is Dick Gumshoe. I'm a detective at the local precinct. Ah! Get to the point already. Explain to the court the details of this murder. Yes, sir. If everyone would please look at this map. This is not the map oh, I see what this is. Okay. This is just the map of the channeling chamber. The channeling chamber has no windows and the door was locked shut. At the time of the murder, only the victim and the defendant were in the room. So V must stand for victim and K for killer, I'm guessing. What were they doing in there? They were channeling a spirit, sir. Channeling a spirit? That's quite the look of disbelief there, Your Honor. Anyway, a few minutes after the channeling started, gunshots were heard coming from inside the room, sir. A few of the witnesses broke the door down and rushed into the room. And that's when they found that the victim was already dead, correct? I believe this is one of the most open and shut cases I have ever presided. You say that every time, dude! Okay, and I guess we get the floor plans, which I'm sure we're going to need later. So how was the victim killed? I was about to get to that. Stop wasting my time, then! Jeez, what a lovely girl, Franziska. Also, I appreciate the little animation of her just squeezing her sleeve impatiently. Cause of death. The direct cause of death was a pistol shot to the forehead, sir. The shot was fired from point-blank range. But before the victim was shot, sir, he was stabbed in the chest. The wound was very severe, but not enough to cause instantaneous death. The murderer used the pistol to finish the victim off after the stabbing. Denim, considering the length of her hair, I would figure she's more of a woolly kind of character. Yeah, see? Bad guy knows. So the victim was stabbed before being shot. This is the victim's autopsy report, sir. After being stabbed in the chest, he was shot in the forehead at point-blank range. Court accepts it into evidence. Mr. Wright, you may question the witness. Well, Keikun, because as usually turns out to be the case, there's probably more going on here than meets the eye. Well, Dandy Wizard, and the feeling would certainly be mutual. Pistol shot to the forehead, okay. The murder weapon, Detective Gumshoe, whose pistol was it? It was the victim's. Yeah, okay. The victim, now why would he have... Why would he have a pistol? Who cares? The point that you were missing is whose fingerprints are on that pistol. If you're not already paying attention to that, then I suggest you start. Fingerprints. There were fingerprints. Along with the victims, the defendant, Maya Faze, were also on the grip, sir. So the defendant's fingerprints were left on the murder weapon. I walked right into her hands there. Also, there is no way a doctor would have a gun in Japan, because it's illegal for anyone except the police and, under certain circumstances, farmers or hunters to own guns at all. And even the police, and certainly the farmers and hunters as well, the laws governing that are extremely strict. Like, you have to keep track of every single bullet that you buy and every single bullet that you fire. And every time you fire a bullet, as a farmer or a hunter, you have to submit a report to your prefectural police department and tell them how many bullets you fired, how many you have left. And the police as well, when they discharge their firearms, they also have to submit reports documenting that same information, so it's really, really strict. But there's no way a doctor in Japan would ever be carrying a gun, for any reason. The shot was fired from point-blank range. Point-blank, huh? So about how far away is that? Phoenix? You moron! It's anywhere between 12 to 20 inches away. And how do you know he was shot at point-blank range? Tisk, 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 Mr. Phoenix Wright. I grow tired of the foolish foolery of the foolish fools of this foolish country. Excuse me? Gunpowder burn. Gunpowder burn. When something is shot point-blank, a burn area is left around the bullet hole. Gunpowder exploding is what makes a bullet fire, and that gets real hot, pal. And there were definitely some gunpowder burns left on the victim's forehead. Wow, never knew that. Live and learn, I get. Wow, Phoenix, you were a defense attorney for how long, and you never knew this? Well, Ralph Clogs, and we talked about this a little bit yesterday, but if you weren't here for it, in the Japanese version, the Japanese localization of this game, the game very clearly and overtly takes place in Japan, but they retconned that in the Western localization, I guess in an attempt to try to make it more relatable to the Western audiences for whom it was localized. But they retconned it so that it's supposed to take place in America in the Western localization, even though they didn't bother changing any of the visual elements or most of the cultural elements that still very obviously pin it down in Japan. But now they try to play it off with everyone acting like it takes place in Los Angeles. So it makes no goddamn sense anytime you see an environment that's clearly Japan. Or anytime they talk about, like, oh, somebody post that comic from yesterday again. That just makes it easier to explain. Before the victim was shot, he was stabbed in the chest. Stabbed, and what was he stabbed with? A fruit knife. I see, and whose knife was it? It looks like it belongs to the Fays, sir. But of course, Maya Fey's fingerprints are all over it. All over it, huh? This does not look good. Ha ha ha, what will you do now, Mr. Phoenix Wright? Oh, I'm only just getting started here. The wound was very severe, but not enough to cause instantaneous death. Thank you, bad guy, that's the one. Yeah, Ralph Clogs, it was weird enough in the first game. This is the second game I'm playing now, and we're only on the second case of this game at the moment, but already it's gotten just bonkers with the inconsistencies in the localization. But yeah, Ralph Clogs, click the link that Nope Bad Guy just posted in chat. That sums it up really perfectly. Let's see. How severe was the wound?
Thanks.
Bullet Bill Man, thank you so much for the resub. Welcome back. Hello to you. If it had been half an inch more to the right, it would have hit the victim's heart. After a stab like that, it's impossible to fight back, let alone stand. This testimony makes it sound like Maya had stabbed him with the intent to kill. Yeah, Ralph Clogs, that'll give you pretty much a perfect idea of what the English localization of this game does. Hello, Solus, welcome! It's pretty clever, Griggs. Red, Maya is on trial because she was supposed to be performing a channeling, but supposedly the spirit that she channeled decided that it was going to use her body to murder the guy that she was doing the channeling for. P1 waifu? You mean Persona 1? What about Persona 1? Because there's a lot about that game that I can think of you might be talking about. Solus, my name is Franz. You can just call me Franz if you like. Are you sure he was stabbed first and then shot? Yup, sure as sure can be. One look at the wounds and you'd come to the same conclusion too, pal. A fool is a fool who will only listen to the foolish opinions of other foolish fools. No need to apologize, Solus. I'm just saying so that it'll be a little easier for you. You're fine, man. It's cool. And hello! Welcome! Pistol shot to the forehead at point-blank range is certainly enough to kill instantly. Does it matter then which was first? Think a little more before you open that big mouth of yours, Mr. Phoenix Wright. Hey! The order in which these things happened can make a difference. Ah, what a pain. Oh, the localization! T-Quick, you shut your mouth. That's enough. We have clearly established how the victim was murdered. I brought the 2 murder weapons with me today. Very well, the court accepts them into evidence. Murder weapon was Gray's. 2 shots fired, bears Maya and Gray's fingerprints. Belong to the phase, bears Maya's fingerprints, okay. What, Denim? The date and time of death was June 19th at 3:15 p.m. Eyewitnesses claim to have heard 2 gunshots at this time. And 2 murder weapons, both with the defendant's fingerprints on them, huh? This does seem like an open and shut case. Naturally. This is going from bad to worse, as if the summary just now wasn't oversimplifying things to the extreme. Your Honor, feel free to slam that little gavel of yours. After all, there's no room left for doubt, is there? Yeah, wouldn't you just like us to believe that? That is quite true. Mr. Wright, yes? Even in the face of all this, do you still wish to plead not guilty? It's the opinion of this court that if you do not adjust your plea, you stand to lose. See, just as I promised, Mr. Phoenix Wright. You would change your plea in less than 10 minutes. What will you do, Mr. Wright? Will you change to justified self-defense? Because now would be the time to do so. This is your final chance. It's a huge decision. No, we're going to plead not guilty. Screw you. Maya did not kill this guy. If we plead justified self-defense, we would basically be confessing to murder. After the trial, Maya's life would be ruined and she'd be labeled a murderer. I can't let that happen. I'm almost afraid to click this, Denim, but... Oh! Oh! Okay! Alright, I'm gonna just pretend I didn't see that. Thanks, Japan! Your Honor! Have you reached a conclusion, Mr. Wright? The defense will not change its plea. We will accept nothing short of complete acquittal. You have sealed your fate, Mr. Phoenix Wright. Detective! Yes, sir! Present the final portion of your testimony, the final strike. Yes, sir. Now see here, proceedings are run by... Ah! Oh, yes, of course. Go ahead, detective, and give you... What a wet blanket this freaking judge is. I think the court would like to hear about the other piece of incriminating evidence. Sorry, pal, but there's an even more incriminating piece of evidence. Yeah, Denim, this transcends... an incompetent 80s localization. Especially since they changed her color palette in the English version of that game to be more Caucasian. Like, that is just the perfect storm of utter ignorance to context. I was just asking that same question myself, T-Quick. Apparently nobody stopped her to confiscate it. This is the costume the defendant was wearing at the time of the crime. As you can see, it is covered in blood. Oh, and there appears to be a bullet hole in it. The defendant attacked and killed a person who, without a doubt, was not fighting back. Wait a minute. I don't believe that. Because if there's a bullet hole in her outfit, the defendant was fighting back. Okay, yeah, see, there's already some stuff here that's not matching up. Drakonin, if I'm a bailiff with a pistol, you're damn right I'm gonna take that away from her. So this is the costume. There certainly is evidence of a back spray of blood on this. This piece directly links Maya Fey to the crime, sir. I see, the court accepts this into evidence. Maya's costume added to the court record. Right, Mr. Wright? Maya's fingerprints on both murder weapons and blood splatters on her clothes. Could this situation get any worse? Ha, what's wrong? You seem to be at a loss. Think this is the last piece of testimony the prosecution should have to offer. Feel free to sulk off with your tail between your legs, Phoenix Wright. Please stop calling me by my full name, it's disturbing. I agree with you on this, Red. Genuinely, I agree. A judge should have an authoritative and commanding presence, but this guy is just a marshmallow. Which makes me wonder why Phoenix doesn't grow some balls and try intimidating him for the sake of the defense. Come on, man, if you can't beat him, join. I mean, I guess you can beat him, but you have to rely on magical MacGuffins and plot armor. Oh, crying Lord, I've had girlfriends who were scarier than her. Well, yeah, Griggs, and considering the way the prosecutors treat this judge, we'd have won every case just by default. By the prosecution being held in contempt within the first 30 seconds of them opening their mouths. That's a good way to summarize it, Haretsu. I can't even fight you on that. Yeah, Ovan, that's how you know it's time to get the hell out. Why didn't you say so in your testimony earlier? You're kind of scary today, you know? Oh, I'm scary now? The prosecution is literally hitting you with a whip, and I'm the scary one? Come now, Mr. Wright, there's no need for that kind of Oh! You fucking hypocrite. Oh yes, Mr. Wright, there's no need for that attitude. Oh no, Franziska's hitting me with a whip, whatever will I do? Pansy. Alright, just please stop glaring at me like, oh good! Phoenix did grow some balls. Okay. Maya's costume? Yeah, she was wearing this when we arrested her. Maya, she's wearing her channeling costume today, too. Is she not allowed to wear anything else? Not my favorite, Drax. There's blood on the costume. Lab results show that it is the victim's blood. So there is blood from the victim on the defendant's clothes. Definitely not good. So were there any other clues you could glean? Gleam? That's supposed to be glean. G-L-E-A-N. Nice job, Capcom. Well... You must change the topic, then the good detective here must testify again. But too bad, not enough time. Let's move on. Ah yes, Miss Von Karma is perfectly correct. Now even the judge is on her side. If I bite off more than I can chew here... No, we're gonna press further. There's something she clearly doesn't want me to find out here. Why is Miss Von Karma suddenly putting up resistance? There must be a reason as to why she suddenly threw out an objection like that. Janet Chu's localization? Was she one of the people who worked on the localization for this game, bad guy? The way you're wording that is a little confusing, bad guy. The stuff that they preserved culturally from Japan was limited to the spirit channeling stuff, so you're talking about the Shinto and Buddhist visual elements, based on a general idea that the Japanfornia this game takes place in exists in a world where anti-Japanese sentiments and anti-immigration laws weren't enacted. So in other words, what you're trying to say, bad guy, is Japan did what they tend to do in these kinds of situations and just basically tried to act like that whole part of history never happened. Okay, let's see. Oh, you copy-pasted... Okay, I'm just gonna read what bad guy posted here to me in Discord, which appears to be a quote from the head localization team member's blog. When I took over the series localization direction starting with the second game, one of the first things I had to deal with was what to do with Maya's hometown and all the mysticism surrounding the Fae clan. It was then that I created a little headcanon for myself, which I suppose is actually real canon now for the localized version. When Gyakuten Saiban takes place in Japan, the Los Angeles that Ace Attorney takes place in is an alternate universe where anti-Japanese sentiments and anti-immigrant laws were not enacted? And Japanese culture was allowed to... Oh, I see! Japanese culture was allowed to flourish and blend into the local culture in the same manner as other immigrant cultures. So what she's saying here is her headcanon for the Western localization of these games is that Japan just mass exported its culture to California to the extent that California just became Japan. Not counting budget and time restraints, this little headcanon has pretty much dictated what I would keep as Japanese and what to completely localize. For example, anything related to Maya's clan and the Kurain channeling technique is pretty much guaranteed to stay Japanese, because that's her heritage, while Japanese foods that are not commonly known in the West will probably be localized in the interest of keeping the game from needing a 50-page explanatory, but you don't need a 50-page... This is what pisses me off. You don't need a 50-page explanatory booklet to tell Westerners what sushi is. Westerners are not that ignorant. Yeah, people brought up Man in the High Castle the other day, Sokar, but it's definitely not that. Yeah, but Westerners still knew what sushi was in 2004 as well, Dandy Wizard. I don't think it would have hurt the localization of this game for them to have kept it authentically Japanese in terms of the setting. Well, Nosterados, you could interpret it that way. That's not how I choose to interpret it. I don't think they were deliberately trying to insult the intelligence of Westerners. But I think this kind of localization decision shows basically it shows a lack of being in touch. You know, I mean, yes, it's in some ways an understandable assumption that Westerners wouldn't have intimate familiarity with Asian cultures, sure, but Japanese culture in particular, even in 2004, like that's a year after I graduated high school, and even around that time, there were a lot of other students in my class who were taking an interest in Japanese culture already. Some of my friends in other school districts that were districts located in more populated areas and that had higher populations actually already were starting to have things like anime clubs at their schools. And some of the bigger districts that had more budget were offering Japanese language classes in addition to just the Spanish and French and Latin and that stuff. So, no, I don't think it was unreasonable even around that time for the localizations of these games to include that stuff. Yes, Cryon Lord, absolutely. I am highlighting all of the VODs from these games, so they will be saved permanently. Don't you worry. Well, but they don't really even touch on that kind of stuff that much in these games, bad guy. I know enough about Japanese culture to be able to tell when something was probably changed in the localization. Like with Maya talking about how much she loves burgers, I don't believe for a moment that that was not originally something like her loving sushi, or okonomiyaki, or takoyaki, or something like that, right? So even the day-to-day life, like... And even then, I don't think it would have hurt for people to do a little bit of research on the internet if there was something in the game that they weren't familiar. Like, remember we talked about the kotatsu during one of the final cases of the first game? About how the way the localization handled the kotatsu? And about how just utterly ridiculous and stupid it was? And the fact that even the comic that we were talking about earlier riffs on it because of how blatantly dumb and incongruous the explanation was of the kotatsu in the first game. Oh, ramen! Niche Ravencraft. Okay. I figured it was something like that. But, like, who in the West does not know what ramen is? Right? How many of us weren't practically raised on, like, Maruchan or one of those other cheap store brand ramen pack? Like, right? That is not, like... But that's exactly what we're talking about, Denim. That's exactly what this excerpt that Bad Guy has given me to read is referring to. It's talking about the fact that, well, the head localizer just decided to just pretend that Japan exported its culture to California, and that there were never any barriers to that. Yeah, Denim, well, that's the kind of thing. Like, it's... Well, Keikun, that's exactly what I'm talking about, you know? There's been a fairly widespread interest in Japanese culture among younger generations in the West, at least since I was a kid. And I'm 34, you know, I'm on the very, very upper end of the millennial generation. And there was still a fairly firm interest in that, even ever since I was young, so... He was being sarcastic, Dandy Wizard. He knows that that's the case. I'm not hating on Maruchan's synoptic error. I'm saying that pretty much all of us have had that kind of store-bought ramen at some point in our lives, probably when we were young. Because, you know, we all love the super high sodium flavor of that stuff. So there's no excuse for a game's localization like this to have to pretend that ramen doesn't exist and to replace it with hamburgers to enable Western audiences to understand something basic about the game. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, exactly, Nitch Ravencraft. That's my point, is... The people doing these localizations appear to be so out of touch with the core target demographics of these games that they don't realize we already know a lot of this stuff, and there's no need for them to take these kinds of liberties that just end up detracting from the quality of the localization. Well, maybe not, Keikun, but you would have at least seen it in grocery stores, right? You would have seen the packages of instant ramen on the shelves and known what they were. You would have known that, oh, okay, so ramen is a type of noodles that you eat like soup. And that would have been enough, you know? Even if you'd never eaten it yourself, that basic understanding would have been enough to say, oh, Maya's favorite food is ramen. I know what that is. Hello, Schwa. Yes, Zelsis. Well, it's the same level of drastic change, Artista, but the localization that gave us Duff McWhalen was a very, very particular... That was because the team that did the localization for Mega Man X5 was just massive Guns N' Roses fans. They didn't do that for the sake of making the game easier to understand for the West. They did that because Guns N' Roses. Well, exactly, Nitch Ravencraft. And I feel like localizations that do this, just, they throw any sense of value of culture out the window. Because they're like, no, we have to shoehorn this game into the culture we're localizing it for. Because otherwise they won't understand it and they won't appreciate it. You know? Yeah, bad guy, but she continued doing the same things. I mean, this testimony from her on her blog... Testimony, yeah, I'm really in the mentality of being a lawyer now. It pretty much proves that that she embraced the idea of just retconning the hell out of everything that wasn't absolutely necessary to preserve. And that just pisses me off. I'm not hating on them, Synoptic Error. I'm saying that it's a different situation. Oh, Christ, Schwa, I don't remember that. Did that actually happen? In the original Pokemon anime? Really? He holds up an onigiri and says nothing beats a jelly-filled donut? Oh, Christ, wow. That is egregious. Okay, that's in the Primeape episode. Gotcha. It's on the level, bad guy. It's on the level. And yesterday, I don't know if you were here yesterday, bad guy, but the idea of yesterday, the fact that when we were standing in a very obviously Japanese dojo, in a very obviously Japanese town, talking to Morgan Fay, who was wearing a kimono embroidered with kanji, with a geisha-style haircut, that Lotta Hart walks up with a Texas accent, and Morgan replies, "Oh, your English is really good." As though this is normal, this is America. No, fuck you. No. No, fucking objection. And I don't throw around profanity lightly, but I'm sorry. That is stupid. Yeah, you got it, Ovan. That's what I said. Well, I did too, Nitch Ravencraft, and I still do. And that's why I wish that these localization teams wouldn't feel the need to dumb down or sanitize the original references and implications of the starting localizations for these games. I'm sorry, I know we've taken almost half an hour with this rant, but this just pisses me off so much. Well, I'm glad to hear that, bad guy, but it's at that point it's a little bit too late, right? Because they've already established the canon. The nonsensical, ridiculous, inane canon for the Western localizations. Yeah, Drax, that's what I mean. By that point, it's too late. Well, thanks, Denim. I guess every Franz stream is a TED Talk, isn't it? I need some tea. How did we end up here? Oh, wait, I know how. Plankton from SpongeBob Hedgehog games? Dare I ask? Yeah, no, Nitch, absolutely, Up until maybe 1990 or so, Nitch, I could understand localization teams having a legitimate reason to do that. Because there was still a fair amount of xenophobia, at least in America where I grew up until about that time. But when my generation started getting old enough to appreciate and understand foreign cultures, because we don't tend to be as burdened by the prejudices and preconceptions of the past and by that kind of ignorance as our parents' generation. We tended to be more accepting and open to that kind of thing. And even in the 80s and the 90s, I remember there was a huge backlash against any kind of media coming out of Japan among the older generation, among my parents' generation, who took the stance that it was corrupting kids' minds, it was melting kids' brains and turning kids violent, and, you know, all the things that their parents thought comic books were doing to them. And then the mass media picked up on that, of course, and turned it into this massive sensationalist scare, which didn't help. Yeah, Hedgehog. Oh god, no. Really? They gave him that treatment? Oh, okay. Yeah, well, the same thing I'm complaining about works in reverse, too. It holds true in both directions. Okay, Hedgehog, incoming Japanese Viacom is gonna mute the stream, but let's hear this.
Karen!
プランクトン？プレゼントが見当たらないけど。
ちゃんとあるよ。ここにある俺様の肝臓に、いや、ハートに。
Oh, Christ. Oh, God, no. That's his Japanese voice? Well, Nestorados, it's people with a political interest in pushing that narrative. Now, the old man in the shiny light box. But it's true, Nestorados, that the older generation is more susceptible to buying into that lie. Oh yeah, Tony Oni, absolutely the reverse of it is possible. The same thing absolutely happens in both directions, where games that start off with Japanese influences get watered down for Western audiences. Media that starts off in the West just as much, just as badly, gets watered down for Japanese audiences too. Yeah, Zabroniath, he sure did. Exactly, Nestorados, yes. A problem that they're taking large amounts of money from massive corporate interests not to solve. And because so few people in the older generations, boomers, enough of them, but particularly octogenarians and that generation, so few of those people by comparison understand video games, and yet those people are perfectly happy to just sit there and watch like dramatizations of old World War II movies and that kind of thing. And they don't bat an eyelash at that. Surely that doesn't turn people into violent killers, but video games must, right? Go get yourself some coffee, Schwa. Yeah, Nitch. It's just the same as when people tell me as a content creator, what? People watch you play games? How is that possible? And then they turn around, go into the living room, and sit down in front of a football game, or a basketball game, or a baseball game, right? And then they're like, what? You play video games for audiences? Get a real job. And then they idolize professional athletes who play sports games for audiences. It's like, yeah, okay. Blind to your own hypocrisy. Right, Keikun, right? Yeah, Artista, it's not like professional sports aren't a billion-dollar industry. Or anything. Yeah, Denim, and you don't think professional gamers are supposed to be in peak performance form as well? You don't think Daigo didn't practice for years to get as good as he is? And even esports professionals don't make anywhere near as much as professional athletes do. Well, it's a good comparison, Schwa. Probably the most logical comparison. Oh god, Hedgehog, I don't think I can take that. Thank you, though. Yeah, Nesterados, exactly. And in video games, at least in a good game, you're engaged, you know? Like, even though what I'm playing now essentially amounts to a visual novel, there are problems I have to solve. I have to use my brain. I have to apply logic and reason and critical thinking in order to get through these cases and not humiliate myself in front of my audience. Denim, the specifics of having to be in peak physical form are irrelevant. All that matters is that you're demonstrating some form of proficiency, some form of skill. And what matters is that somebody is playing a game for an audience to entertain somebody. That's the point. The point isn't whether it's physical or not. The point is somebody who is good at or knowledgeable in that particular game is playing that game on a at least quasi-professional level, and there is somebody watching for entertainment. Well, Schwa, but when you've practiced enough of those skills in general, you have the ability to apply them in the moment. You know, Daigo knew how to do that. He knew what the parry was. And you're talking about, what was it, Evo Moment 37, I think, Schwa, specifically? The one where he was playing Ken versus a Chun-Li, I think. He had all of the pieces of the puzzle already in his repertoire. And it was his skill and his reaction ability and his familiarity with the medium that enabled him to put them all together and apply them in the moment. Hey, Venmaru! Sounds like you've had a long day, Venmaru. Come on in, put your feet up, and relax. Alright, anyway, this is a much longer tangent than I intended to go on. Yeah, of course I would, Denim. I would believe that. Alright, anyway. There must be something about this costume. I just have to look harder. It's probably the bullet hole. Mr. Wright, Miss Von Karma's logic is perfect. There is no way for you to poke a... Oh, he's even giving us a hint. Looks like my time is up, so... No, there is one little thing. Your Honor, actually, there is something very wrong with this piece of evidence. What? What are you talking about, pal? Where is the problem you were talking about? Come this far, there's no turning back now. The problem I have with this piece of evidence is here. Oh, I have to... Right here. Take that! I asked the court to please take a look at the sleeve of this costume. The sleeve? There is a tiny hole here. A hole? But that wasn't in the report. Hold on. What's this around the hole? It smells faintly of gunpowder. Gunpowder? No one ever told me. A hole that smells of gunpowder. It looks like I found the hole I was looking for. I'm just gonna keep my mouth shut on that and not make the obvious joke. Yeah, no worries, Nitch. I'm glad to be able to make my stance on the matter known. Oh, good, Schwa. I didn't realize that. I'm glad it had such a happy ending. Willow Safraga, but in the cases of a lot of those content creators who are bad at video games, it isn't just their skill at the video games that provides the entertainment, right? It's their personality, their sense of humor, maybe, their wit, or possibly just their perspective or their experience, or some other aspect of those people as individuals. No, Venmaru, I'm not gonna stoop that low. Hello, the doctor! Ooh, yikes, Venmaru, I'm sorry to hear that. I hope you're, I hope you feel better soon. Also, I don't recall you mentioning to me, Venmaru, that you stream. Am I not... Why am I not following you? Let's see. There we go. Well, Denim, or to watch her faux toxic relationship dynamic with Pat, right? To see the two of them acting like they hate each other on stream and then hugging and kissing and just being fine. Or just for Elmo. Your Honor, the only logical conclusion you can make is that it must be a bullet hole. Order! 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 This is a very grave matter. It's best we correct the court record first before anything else. Press the check button for details. Yeah, or eating poison, Denim. Sorry about that, I guess we messed up, sir. Is she actually smiling? What else is she hiding? Pull yourself together, detective. That tiny hole doesn't change a thing. The strength of the evidence still holds. Continue with your testimony. That just now was a fluke, nothing more. How can you say something like that? This is a huge oversight. Well, I agree it is a mistake on the part of the police. What Prosecutor Von Karma has said is true. The evidence still stands. Oh, I know it is, Sokar, but that's what I'm trying to say, is... Well, exactly, Nitch Ravencraft. It's... The game provides some entertainment, yes, but... The content creator is what adds uniqueness to the game. And I know this because I've had to make a lot of fair use defenses on YouTube with their bullshit copyright system. And this is always what it boils down to, is that yes, the game on its own is just a piece of media, but the person playing the game is what makes every experience with the game different. You know, it's what the person's individual insights and character add to the game that make it unique. Hello, Monotone. She's his daughter. Yeah, by the standards of the Fair Use Doctrine, Waifung, it qualifies as transformative. Exactly, Nestorados. I mean, if you play through the... This is one of the reasons why playthroughs the way they used to be done before people started doing voiceovers. Like, I don't know if any of you are familiar with a guy on YouTube named Master LL. That's his username. He does the old school long play style playthroughs of mainly Atlas games, but he doesn't do voice commentary. He just records his playthrough of the game with no commentary at all. That loses an entire dimension of the transformative nature of the Let's Play genre of media. And as a result, those kinds of Let's Plays are much harder to defend as qualifying for protection by fair use, because they lack the transformative element of the content creator's voice and personality and commentary and views, you know? That kind of thing. Caffeine-infused chocolate, Jawbone? That seems incredibly unnecessary and also maybe a bad idea. Well, that's true, Sokar, although the flip side of that is there are demagogues out there who use their charisma to spread lies and misinformation, right? Rush Limbaugh comes to mind. That's the trade-off, is that anybody with any radical idea can pick up a mic, and as long as they're charismatic, people will listen to them. It does, Hedgehog, but not really a huge amount of it. Like, not a coffee level of caffeine. Oh, Tiamat, you're talking about Master LL still? Well, Venmara, the base of that argument is just by saying anything at all while playing the game, you're in some way transforming the content. Of course, that argument holds more weight if you're actually discussing the game you're playing, right? Because then you can say that you're not only providing some generic form of transformative content, but that you're actually providing commentary on the content. Yeah, Sokar, it's true for every subject matter, for every medium. Okay, Tiamat, most of the stuff I've ever seen him play was Atlas games, but they're called Awake Bone? That's amazing. Yeah, Nitch Ravencraft, or one, if that one is me, might get sidetracked talking about something completely unrelated to the game, like food, or travel, or culture, or something like that. Nitch, I don't know if you were around during my my active days on YouTube, but people used to get so pissed off at me when I would be playing, like, Bloodborne, and rather than talking about the game, I would answer viewer questions about where should I visit on vacation if I'm going to Germany. I would especially do this when I was doing post-commentary for a particular game. So when I wasn't actually playing the game, and I had forgotten what I was thinking about in the moment as I was playing, and I was basically just narrating over pre-recorded video footage of the game, and I would have trouble thinking of things to talk about, so I would just answer viewers' questions. And I would get so many angry people in the comments going, "No, shut up, talk about the game!" Well, Mr. Mella, that was the Souls community. What more can I say? Well, I'm glad to hear that, Nitch. I have always personally felt that my viewers are my absolute top priority, because all of you are the reason I'm here, right? I wouldn't be here without all of you. I'd just be another idiot sitting in his room playing video games by himself, working a soulless 9-to-5 job, probably. Well, no, Waifu, that's not what I'm saying. Well, Sokar, but Twitch provides a better sort of platform for that. First of all, because I can respond to those comments in real time, right? And second of all, because I'm not absolutely strictly limited to just talking about one subject on Twitch. I mean, Twitch really just amounts to cutting out the middleman and not having to worry about all of the ridiculous copyright nonsense that YouTube has never really lifted a finger to try to fix. Thank you, Ravencraft. I appreciate that. It's nice to know that somebody feels that way. Because, in all honesty, that's what keeps me going. You know, that's what,
Lord Wind's blessing upon thee.
That's what motivates me to continue doing this. So, welcome to the Ragtime Lounge, Nitch. I hope you feel compelled to stick around, 'cause I like you. Something fascinating was happening in-game, Venmaru? Yeah, like me just endlessly slashing up horrifying-looking man-beasts over and over? When I had something to say about the game, I did say it, Venmaru. It's just, there's a lot of downtime when I'm working my way through an area and not a lot's going on, and there's not really anything new happening gameplay-wise, where I'm just kind of slogging through a poison swamp, because you know how much FromSoft loves those. And there's not really anything noteworthy happening in the game that deserves being talked about at the moment. So the hell with it. We've got a little bit of downtime. Let's talk about that great pizza I had yesterday. You know? Well, thank you, Nitch Ravencraft. And thank you, Solus. I appreciate the vote of confidence. Alright, but I do want to try and focus here at least a little bit. If you do not find a more definitive problem with the evidence, then no way! Detective Gumshoe, please continue with your testimony. Yes, sir. Yes, Keikun, I was born in Dresden. But I grew up in the United States and eventually moved back to Germany and currently reside in Berlin. I mean, sure, Denim. Well, Mr. Mella, that's part of the reason why I always like to change up the topic of discussion from time to time, is that I feel like the people who show up only for Souls would be just as happy to watch any other content creator play Souls as they would me. You know, the majority of those people, I think, are not here for the content creator, they're just here for the game. And that's fine, you know, I'm happy to provide that when I'm playing a Souls game, but at the same time, that's not the only sole definitive aspect of who I am, you know? And a lot of content creators in the Souls community just got shoehorned into that, where people didn't care about them as individuals, they only cared about them as sources of Souls content. And I had a fundamental problem with that. You know, I want to be appreciated for more than just the fact that I churn out content on a particular topic. You know, if I'm going to do something like that, I want my actual perspective on that content, or, you know, some element of my personality to be valuable enough to people to keep them coming back. I might eventually Ralph Clogs, but I mean, I don't know about with Pat. If he has the time and our schedules line up, and he feels like it, maybe. But I am so burned out on Monster Hunter World because I went so hard on it during the base game. I played it so much that now I'm taking a break, and I need a little more time before I return from that hiatus. Well, I really appreciate that, Xanax, and no one is obligated to interact in chat. If you prefer lurking, that's fine. I'm happy to support that, but Well, so am I, Mela, but I only narrowly dodged that bullet. I was already starting to get pigeonholed well before I moved over to Twitch, and moving over to Twitch was part of the reason why. But even now, Mela, what do we have here for viewership? We've got 84 people right now. 84 people, it's around the average number of people who show up for anything I do that is not Souls. But as soon as I pick up a Souls game, I'll have 150, 200. Last time I played Demon's Souls, I had 250 people come to the stream. And I'm not saying that I appreciate the people who only come here for that any less. It's just that I know I can always count on the people who appreciate me for more than just the Souls content to show up. You know? Well, I'm glad to hear that, Monotone, because that really is my biggest selling point at this stage of the game. Yeah, Nitch, I don't want to go so hard on a game that I render myself unwilling to ever play it again. Well, I'm not even so sure about that, Venmaru, because it seems like the vast majority of the people who do show up only when I play a Souls game just lurk anyway. So it doesn't seem to have a substantial impact on chat most of the time. It might get a little more active because a few of them will, you know, they'll want to talk about the game a little bit. But most of the people who are active in chat are regulars who are here anyway. And who are here to chat with me and each other as much as they are to watch me forget to play the game, as I'm doing now. He wasn't fighting back. How do you know if he was or wasn't? We could find no evidence that the victim put up any sort of struggle, pal. So did the murderer have a fight with the victim or not? Depending on this, the circumstances around this murder change drastically. We're in real trouble now. If only I had something to prove that the victim did fight back. That Von Karma, she thinks she can decide the verdict with this testimony alone. Well, I'll find a critical contradiction somehow and then I'll have her. Actually, so we do have something that we can present here. The victim did try to fight back. This evidence clearly reveals the contradiction in that statement, Your Honor. How exactly are the evidence in the statement just now related? They aren't. Wait, what? Mr. Wright, please think that... What the hell? Alright, not fighting back. Okay, maybe it's the costume then. Both of those to me seem like they should be evidence that, the guy was fighting back. This is the only other thing we have that... Yeah, okay. Detective Dick Gumshoe. Yes? Having you call me by my full name is kind of a weird feeling. You said that my client killed a person who, without a doubt, was not fighting back. Yeah, I guess this is what they were looking for. Yeah, I did. Then what, may I ask, is the bullet hole you police overlooked supposed to mean? What does it mean? I'll tell you what it means. It means that the victim had fired off a shot. Is this what it means to not fight back? Yeah, not here to stream. I realized that the moment I presented the bullet hole. Yeah, it is, Tonyoni. But I guess one answer was more right than the other one, as far as the game was concerned. It seems you're correct. If the victim had tried to shoot the defendant, then it would change everything. Alright, the wind seems to be shifting. Is it... Are you finished yet, Laugh? You finished yet, Mr. Phoenix, right? There's one Karma. Seems that Maya Fey was shot at by the victim. However, that is only grounds enough to support a justified self-defense plea. That is correct, but I'm sure you remember, Your Honor, that what the defense clearly said. They rejected justified self-defense and pleaded not guilty. Yeah? Now that you... Why, that's right. Which means the defense has yet to prove anything at all. No, well, yes, that's true. Furthermore, just the fact that there is a bullet hole in the costume is not enough to substantiate even a plea of justified self-defense. Huh? How so? Don't just stand there. Hurry up and tell the court what transpired that day. With the new information we acquired added in, of course. Huh? You mean by myself? You want me to put together the scenario all by myself? Ah! Yes, sir. Right away, sir. Hello, Palm Top Tiger. Welcome. Well, most of these prosecutors do, Nitch, as does the judge, often enough. Since he's constantly siding with the prosecution. Ah, damn it, my tea's cold. Oh, well. During the channeling, the defendant saw her chance to stab the victim in the chest. Of course, the victim used the last of his strength to fight back, sir. While the two were fighting, the victim took out his gun. The victim took a shot, but because they were too close, he missed. The defendant then picked up on the opening, took the victim's gun, and ended it. The scenario you have put together does make sense. Yes, sir. Well, Mr. Wright, on the surface it does seem to make sense. However, I won't give up that easily. Please refrain from glaring at me like that. Now then, your cross-examination, please. Alright, I'd better try and focus up here, because... Let me think here. Wait a minute. Looking at Maya's costume here, didn't he just say that they were at point-blank range, at close range? And we made a big point earlier about how there were gunpowder burns on Dr. Gray's forehead from the point-blank gunshot. But there are no gunpowder burns around the bullet hole in this costume. And I'm pretty sure they just said... Yeah, because they were too close, he missed. So this doesn't make sense. I'm taking a bit of a risk here, but I think we need to use this to prove that they weren't that close. Oh, that could very well be, Nitch. That does make sense. I could see that. Missing the tiny hole on this costume would be the prosecution's undoing. Yeah? What do you mean? This little hole has actually created a huge hole in your testimony. Explain yourself, Mr. Wright. You said the two of them were fighting when the victim fired his gun point blank. If that were true, then where is the gunpowder burn on this okay, yeah, that's what I thought. Gunpowder burn? This is what you testified earlier. When something is shot from point-blank range, a burn area is left around the bullet hole. Oh, but there is not a single trace of gunpowder burn on this costume. Hello, Eboera! Good to see you, man. How you doing? 99-point-something% not here to stream. Well, I'm glad to hear that, Sokar. Oh god, that emote, Eboera. That is a very good point. And what exactly does this mean? It means that when the shot was fired, they were standing apart from each other. I'm disappointed, Mr. Phoenix Wright. You think you can punch a hole in my logic with that? With wishy-washy thinking like that, anyone can explain anything away. Then I implore you to disprove my line of thinking. Let's see. In the middle of their fight, the victim pushed the defendant away. And it was then, when they were separated, that he fired. How was that? No. Because didn't we just say... As if that was even possible. According to the testimony, the wound from the stabbing was very severe. The victim would not have had the strength to push the defendant very far after that. Ugh. Well then... That's right, the defendant must have pushed the victim away. After stabbing him, she must have put some space between the doctor and herself. And then while she was preparing to strike again, the doctor took his shot. There, that should satisfy even you. That does make an awful lot of sense. What do you think, Mr. Wright? I must be careful. I can't afford to make a mistake here. Concentrate and think. No, something doesn't make sense here. There is a fatal flaw in her argument, Your Honor. Now I think it's time that we need to present the bullet hole in the folding screen. Very interesting. I would love to see where this flaw is. Show me something that contradicts my explanation. There has to be a snag in her explanation somewhere. She put some distance between them before rushing to make the final blow. When she was about to strike, the doctor took his shot. There must be a piece of evidence that contradicts the line of... I'm fairly sure it's the folding screen, but I'm not entirely sure I can explain why. I'm just going completely on a hunch here. Schwa, I picked something that looked like it was supposed to be correct. Well, I know he'll explain the why, Haretsu, but I'd like to be able to explain the why. Like, if I'm gonna choose this as my supporting evidence, I ought to at least know why I'm choosing it. But my reasoning behind choosing this is not due to actually having an idea of why it might support my claim. It's due to the fact that this seems to be, based on my observations, it seems to be what the game wants me to choose. This is the piece of evidence that destroys your... Oh, it is the correct thing. Okay. Niche, I would prefer not, only because even speculation could be the thing that that spoils my ability to solve one of these conundrums myself. And I would very much like to be able to try to figure these out on my own, although I certainly am doing a pretty lazy job of it now, aren't I? Well then, Mara, I'm going to make an informed decision, not based on the actual facts of the case, but based on my knowledge of game design and game writing. Yes, Vestian, they do. It's just that they conveniently ignore perjury for plot purposes in this game. Well, thank you, Niche. I appreciate that. I'm glad somebody can. What is that? A folding screen? I would like to point the court's attention to the hole in this folding screen. Ah! It looks like you already know what I'm talking about. Who, where, what? Mr. Wright, your explanation, please. Are these two really that clueless? Well, This is actually Phoenix slighting me now, because I'm not entirely sure why this bullet hole is the proof we need here. The bullet went through the defendant's sleeve first, then the folding screen. It passed through at a height of approximately 8 inches off the ground, which means... when the shot was fired, Maya, I mean the defendant, was not getting ready to strike, but was actually squatting low to the... Oh, okay. Yeah, this is kind of obscure. I don't even know that I would have figured this out. Yeah, Nitch, ordinarily with any other kind of game, I would welcome speculation. It's just that because of the nature of this game, because it's a visual novel, even speculation in chat could inadvertently end up having the same effect as a spoiler. And I do really want to be able to try my best to figure these things out for myself is all. So it's really only under this unique circumstance that I would ask that. So I apologize, Nitch, but I appreciate that you understand. Well, Haretsu, we're getting into some very specific Shin Kendo or Aikido types of counterattacks while kneeling. And while those do exist, they are accounted for in some styles of martial arts. Maya is not a practicing martial artist. Oh, well, that's very kind and considerate of you, Nitch, and I'm very grateful to you. Nitch, just in case Moobot hasn't already done this, let me just... There we go. Just so you know it's a thing. Well, or a bowl of ramen, as localization would have it, bad guy, but yes. Because it hasn't been mentioned once up to this point, Haretsu. And if it had that kind of importance, somebody would have said something. Like somebody in the game, I mean. And Bone, I don't remember if I thought to call it out earlier, but thank you for the bits. The 190 and the 280 bits. I apologize if I missed that earlier. Let's see. Order! Order! This changes everything. Please look at this diagram of the crime scene. The victim, Dr. Gray, was here when he fired the shot. Ebawira, thank you so much for the resub. Welcome back. And the bullet hit this folding screen. It hit at this location about 8 inches off the ground. At this time, the defendant was in this area. Yeah, the defendant would have had to have been right here. Take that! Somewhere around here. Judge's face is scrunched up like he just smelled some serious bad breath. That is, I mean, wait, I just realized I forgot to brush this morning. Excuse me while I freshen up. Sure. In the meantime, I want you to think things through again, Mr. Wait, what? Did I not... How specific is this? She was right here. Take that! What? Alright, what the hell? What do you want from me, Capcom? Okay, so I guess... here? She was standing here near the folding screen. Wait a second. We know the defendant was close to the ground based on the height of the bullet hole. But how can you gauge the distance from that? Isn't it possible that the defendant was standing much closer to the victim? That's impossible. But why? You of all people should know the answer to that question, Ms. Von Karma. If she was shot from somewhere closer, there would be gunpowder burns present. However, there is nothing of the sort around the bullet hole of this costume. Ah, curse you, Mr. Phoenix Wright, you! I believe it has now been proven that the defendant was standing a ways from the victim when she was shot at. But do you think this has changed the defendant's situation? Yes, it changes everything. Of course it does. Honestly, Your Honor, this changes everything. The prosecution has claimed that the defendant was aiming to kill by stabbing. If that were true, delivering the final strike with the knife would be ideal. However, where and what was the defendant doing at the time? Squatting all the way by the folding screen? Exactly. If Maya Fey was the real murderer, why would she be by the folding screen instead of preparing to strike? Nah. Upon further consideration, it does make very little sense. Yeah, I figured there had to be a reason. Figuring things out and proving the logic behind everything is your job! Oof. Alright, with this, the rest of the trial should be in the bit. Now, here we go again. Blast radius of disaster! You are such a smart man, Mr. Phoenix Wright. To think you've been able to take a completely hopeless case to this point. Now I know why Papa had a tough time with you. You amuse me. Of all the things to inherit, why did it have to be that smarmy smile? And that cravat! Detective, how dare you damage my perfect logic? Huh? How is it all my fault? You can start repairing your standing by removing that 3-strand goatee. Oh, and rest assured your punishment will come later. Punishment? Well then, Your Honor, I think I've had all I can take of this detective's face. I think it's time to call in the next witness. Next witness? Oh yeah, it's probably Lotta, isn't it? 'Cause she took the damn pictures. Yeah, Zabronieth, I feel like it's a neat idea when they try to do the thing where you have to point something out on an image. But the parts of the image where you have to point stuff out are not always extremely clear. Like the point detection, I guess. Very well. The court will take a 5-minute recess. After we reconvene, we will hear from the next witness. To be continued? Okay. Phew, that was a close one. I know you were giving it your all to defend me, but I could feel the death penalty hanging in the air. I feel like I was pretty close to dying myself. Oh, absolutely, Cryon Lord, I agree. But you were wonderful out there. You listened carefully, made theories, and tricked everyone into believing you. Thanks. Wait, tricked? That must be the lawyer's secret technique, right? By the way, is the next witness who I think it is? Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's Lotta Hart. Oh, guess there's no escaping her, huh? Remember, Nick, you promised you'd save me. You lose, me and my sister's ghost will come after you and haunt you. Your sister? Oh, are you talking about Mystic Mia? Yeah, do you remember her, Pearly? My sister was a super good lawyer. She was also Nick's teacher. Oh, I didn't know that. Maya's cousin, Venmaru. Court will now reconvene. Now, the first order of... Ow! I don't want to hear it, old man. After I call my witness, sit there quietly and watch like a good little boy. Yes, sir. Bring in the photographer who witnessed the channeling. She didn't witness the channeling. Oh, here we go again. Witness, your name and occupation, if you please. Hey, Phoenix, how you doing? Just fine. Sorry about this. Didn't exactly have a choice, you know. Yowza! Name and occupation. I declare, what in tarnation? Hey, Judge, this here is violence against my fair self. That's fine. That's fine. That ain't fine. That's a whip. Yee-haw! Ah! There's no need for foolish outcries from foolishly foolish fools. Just hurry up and testify about what happened on the day of the murder. Haven't even gotten to say my name and job yet. The name's Lotta Hart, paranormal photographer, and I'm here to testify. Now, let's all be one big happy family. This freaking judge. This freaking judge. Yes, in this court of law, we're all one big happy family. We all have the same goals and interests, right? We're all just here to have a nice little vacation. We're all just having a nice family dinner out together. That's what's going on here, isn't it? Here we go. Only the doc and the defendant went into the channeling chamber. We were waiting outside the door, and then bang, we hear this gunshot. Mr. Lawyer there broke the door down, and we rushed into the room. Inside was the dead victim and the defendant waving a pistol around. I swear, other than those two, there was no one else in the room. And did you take a picture of the scene right after the murder took place? Reckon course. Excuse me? Reckon course. It's short for you reckon of course I did. Ah! Does it look like I care? Just hurry up and show your picture to the court. The moment of truth. What will be in that picture? Let's see here. This here's the picture. Well, Drekkanen, I guess that depends on the family. It certainly seemed that only the defendant and the victim were in that room. Except, they made a huge deal earlier about, whoa, look at that folding screen. There's so much space behind it, and it's so dark back there. It's almost like a person could hide behind it. Hey, Keyworth. Are you ready, Mr. Phoenix Wright? I will clear all doubt about Maya through this cross-examination. Just watch me. Alright, so... we were waiting. Most of this I can vouch for. I can corroborate this because I was there. We rushed into the room. The defendant waving a pistol. Yeah, other than those two, there was no one else in the room. Are you absolutely certain of that? Sure am, but that old witch chased us out of the room, so... Old witch, does she mean Morgan Fay? But there was no one else in there, and you know it. The channeling chamber was very dark, almost pitch black. Was there really no one else in there? Yeah, behind the folding screen. What about behind the folding screen? Did you check back there? Rec given. Huh? What in the... Rec given, you know, you reckon that's a given. I took me a good look around the room once. There ain't no way anyone was hanging out behind that folding screen. If I may have a word with you, Miss Hart. What? You got a problem? Rec given, I mean, I am having a little difficulty in understanding you. You would stop saying such. Ah! Now then, Mr. Phoenix Wright, do you see the problem with the testimony or don't you? Her story adds up. What's worse, I was there at the crime scene with her, and her story is exactly how I would have told it, too. Oh, this is... okay, I don't know what to do here. Do I have anything I can present? This guy is not 35. That is bullshit. Oh, Pearl is 8, okay. Age unknown, huh? What? This is bullshit too. Franziska's 18? Now she looks 35. My god. Alright, you'd think, Cryon Lord. I don't know what to present here. I don't think we have anything that can prove that the person in this picture was not damn it! I didn't mean to do that. That statement contradicts it. Damn it, I wrong buttoned again. Ugh. Yeah, Yami, There's a guy on YouTube, Yami, who talks about the rule of 2012-3. He's an Australian guy who lives in Japan, and his rule of 2012-3 is basically that, what is it? That girls in Japanese media have the face of a 20-year-old... no, the body of a 20-year-old, the face of a 12-year-old, and the voice of a 3-year-old, I think it is. I believe that's how it goes. Yeah, I guess it probably is, Zabroniath. It's the JapanChannel.com, Dandy Wizard. Was it really those two that went in? What are you blabbering about? You were there too, were you not? Why don't you answer that yourself? Was it really just the two of them? Yes, Dr. Gray and Maya are the only two that went into the room. Hold on, we can't have the defense testifying against its own client. Wait, folks, only the two of them went into the channeling chamber, you hear? But you knew that from the very beginning, didn't you? Witness continue. I feel like I am being set up to fail here. Was it really a gunshot? Are you insane? You must have heard it as well. Don't you testify for the court, Mr. Phoenix, right? Was it really a gunshot? Yes, I think it was something that sounded like a gunshot. Why are we here listening to the defense testify? The world becomes just a little crueler. I heard a gunshot a long time ago, so I know, and I tell you that was a gunshot I heard. Now this is where the story heats up. Can we please just stop the farce here? This... Are you sure it was the defendant Maya Fey? Sure, I'm sure. Lotta seems awfully confident in her testimony. Lotta, please think back to that day one more time. What you getting at? Remember what you said when we broke into that room? I was murdered. Click. Lotta, at a time like this, times like this are perfect for snapping up shots. But anyway, what's going on here? This gal, is she Maya? When you saw the murderer at that time, you couldn't even tell if it was Maya Fey or not, am I correct? Well, you see... Order! Ms. Hart, you are here to present accurate testimony. Yeah, sorry. Good, this shifts things back to my side. For a defense lawyer, your defense is terribly lacking, Mr. Phoenix Wright. I was set up! It's Capcom doing it! Witness, think back to when those two entered the channeling chamber. When they entered? One of those people that entered the chamber was Maya Fey, correct? Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it was Maya that went in. It looks like we've come to a collective conclusion. The person in this picture was most certainly Maya Fey. Yeah, unless there was someone in there already disguised as her before those two went in. Rats, and I'm trapped like one, again. I swear, other than those two, there was no one else in the room. Oh, okay. I'm absolutely certain of that, but that, under the flooring. We've just... What am I supposed to do to advance the plot here? I guess I must have to present something. So let me get this straight. This Mr. Lawyer there broke the door. What? Honestly, Mr. Phoenix Wright, why don't you tell us what happened then? Yes, I broke the door down. Why does this feel like an inquisition? That was great. You're a real man. Really, that's something I would have liked to see. The judge is smiling rather openly. I'll take that as a good sign. Just as I thought, there's nothing wrong with her testimony. I was with her, so I know she's telling the truth. Okay, yeah, I guess I did have to just question everything. It seems there are no issues with Miss Hart's testimony. At the time of the crime, only two people were in the channeling chamber. The victim, Dr. Turner Gray, and the defendant, Maya Fey. The face of the defendant cannot be verified in this picture. However, if we think about the circumstances, it would have to be the defendant. What am I gonna do if I just let this go? What is it, Mr. Wright? You look as if you have something to say. If I make one wrong move, I'm gonna have the judge against me. Is there anything I can present that would prove it's not Maya in the photo? I don't think there is. I don't think I have anything. Well, Mr. Wright? Nothing, Your Honor. That's very smart of you, Mr. Phoenix Wright. You really should give up trying to prove this is not Maya Fey. I didn't say anything about giving up. I just don't have the right piece of evidence to prove my argument. That's enough. Is this it? Is this all I could do? I think it's quite obvious to this court that a verdict of not guilty is not possible. I told you. I told you, totally 100% impossible. Ms. Von Karma, do you have any further questions for this witness? Having established the defendant's guilt, further questioning won't be needed. What about the defense? No further questions, I presume? I couldn't protect Maya. The defense, wait. Alright, oh, okay, I was about to say, is this going to be one of those times when we just get bullshitted out of a guilty verdict by magic? And it looks like it is. Oh, Nitch, do you, hang on a minute. No problem about asking that in chat, Nitch. What you've got to do, and I will refresh the server for you here. Integrations, sync. What you got to do, Nitch, is you open your Discord, and I think you might need to do this with the desktop app or the web app. I'm not sure if it works on mobile. You open up your Discord app, and then you go to the user settings tab, and you select connections. And under connections, it will show you a list of all of the different Discord servers that you can join. And you should see the Ragtime Lounge in there. It'll have the same icon as your subscriber badge on this channel. Oh, can you know a lot? I've had a couple of people tell me that the option wasn't showing up for them, but maybe they've fixed it since then. Hopefully they have. Yeah, Nitch, ordinarily it takes a long time for it to show up, but I have an option to manually force the server to refresh its member list, and that, I think, will make it show up for you. Phoenix! Phoenix, you can't make that kind of face. A lawyer is someone who smiles no matter how bad it gets. Mia! Holy! I guess I made it just in time, wouldn't you say? You, but Pearls! Her clothes are a bit No, are we really doing this? Did we really just turn 8-year-old Pearl into MILF Mia? With the cup size and everything? Did we really just do this, Japan? Oh, I can't, this is the darkest of the dark magic, Yami. Everyone's going to jail, bad guy. We're all getting arrested. Oh, God. Ugh. And nobody in the courtroom is batting an eyelash at this? No one standing here watching this is at all fazed by the fact that an 8-year-old just transformed into a busty MILF? What? Cryon Lord, I legit don't know if it's a good idea for me to continue with this, if this is... I know, Ten the Rabbits, I know this is par for the course for Japan. They don't bat an eyelash at this in their media in Japan. But I don't live in Japan. No, Waifung, everyone can see this. It changes the physical appearance of the channeler in this canon. No, Palm Top, they explicitly state that it changes their outward physical appearance. Literally everybody watching can see this. Yes, Synoptic, but this goes into a totally different level of Japanese fetishes. But no, it's fine in Japan because it's just fantasy. It's not real. It's beyond lots of things, Yami. Anyway, what are you waiting for, Phoenix? Let's go. But how? She's already taken every advantage. The advantage is still in your hand. Think carefully one more time about what you saw in the channeling chamber. You remember what you told me yesterday? Dr. Gray! Oh yeah, there's a second picture here, isn't there? I was murdered. What? What, at a time like this? Times like this are perfect for snapping up shit. Yeah, there is a second picture. See, there is one final piece to this puzzle. Mia? Question Lotta one more time, Phoenix. I don't know if she's doing it unconsciously on purpose, but she's not testifying truthfully. Keyworth, if I had known... Now then, this court would like to end the cross-examination period. Please wait, Your Honor. The defense would like to request that the witness testify one more time. Overruled. I'm afraid you're too late, Mr. Wright. The cross-examination has already ended. Furthermore, any unrelated... It's fine! I'll allow another What? Von Karma's case is perfect, absolutely flawless. And what better time than this for you to see that? But, I mean, I have someplace I must go after this. Oomph. All right, I'll allow it. Miss Hart, hurry and give us another test. Why is Franziska helping us here? What? What is even going on anymore? I've lost all track of reality. Well, heck, what am I supposed to talk about? Please tell us once more what happened when you burst into the channeling chamber. Okay, you got it. See, you got through to the judge. I didn't. It was Von Karma who got through to the freaking judge. I guess Phoenix needs to start bringing a whip to court from now on. Well, actually, it was Von Karma's whip that got through. Yeah, see? Phoenix knows. When we broke into that room, all I could focus on was Maya. I was kind of scared of the dead body, so I didn't take a good look at it. Really bad when it comes to blood and ghosts and stuff. But I still managed to point my camera at Maya and take a shot. A shot! You took two. Nothing sounds different from before. Some parts of her testimony were very vague. I should press her on those sections. Struggle all you like as you taste the bitterness of your defeat. Well, amuse me with your useless questions, Mr. Phoenix. I'm waiting. Yeah, she took two pictures. Where is the second one?
Hold it!
Two, right? Two what? Two shots. You took two shots. But only one has been submitted as evidence. Ms. Hart, where is the other picture you've been withholding? No, you got it all wrong. It's not me. I didn't mean anything bad. I know I can be a little mean, but I ain't evil. Well, at least she knows herself. Then why have you not shown this other picture to the court yet? Well, ain't it obvious? That prosecutor woman told me to shut my trap about it. Oh! What? Von Karma! Ms. Von Karma, you're hiding critical evidence. Unforgivable, Von Karma. Suppressing evidence like this, you're as bad as your... You know what? I'm gonna let the judge handle it, and see if he's willing to grow some balls. So mad that even my throat's clenching up. I'd better let the judge handle this. Ms. Von Karma, would you care to explain yourself to this court? I thought this picture was not important and thus felt no need to submit... Yeah, that's a nice excuse. How could you think? The pictures were more or less the same, so why bother with the second? I mean, it's just so much more trouble than it's worth for me to submit this as evidence. More trouble than it's worth? How? How can you say that? If you want to see it that badly, I'll submit it. Franziska Von Karma is her name, Yami. Yes. Oh, see, now Now we can see her face. Oh, look, and Franziska didn't think this was important. This is clearly not Maya. And her uniform is also distinctly missing that bullet hole. No, Yami, absolutely not. What is this picture? It's obviously the second picture the witness took that day at the scene of the crime. Well, it's a little off-center, but that's what you get with a nervous amateur. I think the important point here is the person in this picture. This is most definitely not Maya Fey. So GG on freaking withholding crucial evidence. What is the meaning of this? This might be the break I was looking for. Now, should I or should I not insist that the person in this picture is not Maya? More than that, no, a lot. It's 99 point something. So, of course it's not Maya. Your Honor, as you can plainly see, the person in this picture is not Maya Fey. Yes, I see that. It's not just her face, her whole body has taken on a different appearance. There is only one conclusion that can be drawn then, that somehow this other person snuck in and traded places with the defendant. Order, order, order! Well, yes, I believe you are correct, Mr. Wright. The person who was inside the channeling chamber was not Maya Fey. Mia, we did it! You're too soft. Huh? You're softer than Aunt Morgan's strawberry desserts, Phoenix. What? Take a look at Prosecutor Von Karma's face. She's smiling? Think you'd better continue to worry, Mr. Phoenix, Wright. Miss Von Karma, what do you mean by that? Your Honor, I would like for you to take a look at this picture. This was taken yesterday at the detention center's visiting room. This is Mr. Phoenix Wright and the defendant Maya Fey during his... How did you get this? Maya Fey? But isn't this a totally different person? She looks this way because she is obviously in the middle of channeling a spirit. It's unbelievable that she can... Yet it is the truth. When Maya Fey is in that state, she physically changes into the person she's calling. Miss Von Karma, a word if I may. Mia, taking pictures of someone during a private visit is illegal. Surely you must know that picture can't be submitted as evidence. Obviously, I know this picture is illegal, but I never intended to submit it as evidence in the first place. What is she? From the moment I showed this picture to the court, this case became all mine. After all, this image has now been forever burned into the judge's mind. I don't even have a single witty line. It looks like we've been had. I don't claim to understand this, and I still cannot believe it. Are you saying that this person... Oh, she's trying to prove that the person is Maya and she looks different because she's channeling a spirit. If I give up here, the trial will end. But if I slip up and say something wrong, it will cost me. Is there any way I can prove the person in this picture is not Maya? Yes, I can, because her clothes don't have the bullet hole. Your Honor. Oh, the fire has returned to your eyes, I see. This picture, within this picture lies a critical contradiction to all the testimony up to now. A contradiction? So you think you've spotted a problem with this picture, then earn your keep. Why don't you point out exactly what is so strange? It is right here. Take that! Please direct your attention here. To the sleeve? But there isn't anything odd about it. And that is exactly what is so odd. Something that should be there is suddenly missing. Should be there? Ah! There was a bullet hole in the sleeve of the defendant's costume. If that's the case, then it should be in this picture as well. Well, yes, Noelot, but the point is, she wanted to prove to the judge that when Maya is channeling a spirit, her appearance changes. And she wants to use that as an explanation of why the person in the picture does not look like Maya. Even though it is, which is what she wants to prove. So in order to refute that, we now have to prove that the shooter was somebody else. And that somebody could have snuck into the room somehow. And our only way of proving that, because we saw the two of them go in, the only conclusion we can come to is that the person who actually was the killer was already in the room hiding somewhere. Flippin' to chicken. With a username like that, you must really like cooking. Hello, thank you so much for joining us. Tell you what, you've come to the right channel if you like cooking. Ms. Von Karma, you intended to hide this valuable piece of evidence? You will most certainly be assigned a penalty for this. Alright, this should do some major damage to her argument. Don't celebrate yet. You like to bring down the mood, don't you? Take a look at Ms. Von Karma's face. Ah, she's got that condescending grin plastered all over her face again. I do appreciate that she got a penalty for that, this time rather than me. Jumping the gun again, I see. Your Honor. I'd like to extend an apology on behalf of those incompetent fools. What do you mean? And what incompetent fools? If those fools down at the precinct hadn't missed the bullet hole, I would have gotten a report about it. As I didn't, I could not have known this picture was of any value to the case. I see. She's lying through her teeth, I know it. That woman knew about everything. The bullet hole, the picture, everything. No, Sokar. But you can't prove that. Franziska von Karma's idea of a perfect case is quite fascinating, don't you think? Your Honor, you need not worry. If you must assign a penalty, I'll personally make sure that detective gets what's coming. Yes, Haretsu, she did. I'm sure there will be a great gnashing of teeth at his next salary discussion. Poor Gumshoe. In any case, this is a very big problem. When the defendant was taken into custody, her costume had a bullet hole in its sleeve. However, from this photo, it would appear that right after the shooting there was none. The judge is confused by this strange twist of events. This is your chance, Phoenix. Load all you've got into this one shot, alright? Got it. Watch this, Maya. Your Honor! There is only one logical explanation for the contradiction. The shooter is somebody else. The defendant's sleeve had a bullet hole in it. However, this person's clearly does not. There can only be one explanation. The person who shot Dr. Gray was not the defendant, but a different person altogether. What? Order, order, order! If order is not restored, I will suspend this trial. Ow! Ah! Why me? The defense's argument is a complete mess. A complete mess. I fail to see how. Please enlighten us. Hey, witness. Ah! What the heck? Is that any way to ask a gal a favor? Be quiet, you! You were the one who said it was only the two of them when you entered the room. Well, you know, if you were lying, then I swear that my whip will be the last thing you see. Look, sis, you're looking mighty scary, so why don't we say you... Ah! I swear I wasn't lying or nothing. There wasn't anyone else in there, honest. You see, now riddle me this, Mr. Phoenix Wright. Where did the defendant vanish to? Where did this other woman appear from? Why is it lately all I want to do is cry? Well, if the person in this picture is not the defendant, then this poses two very big questions. First, where did the defendant vanish to? And second, where did this person come from? That's right, now hurry up and answer, Mr. Phoenix Wright. Come on, you can't fall apart here, Phoenix Wright. Can't believe that even Mia's calling me by my full name. I mean, how am I supposed to prove something like this? Had enough yet, Mr. Phoenix Wright? Or do you think you have enough in you to turn things around even now? To turn things around. That's right. Mia would always turn things around and change her perspective. So where did this intruder appear from? To look at this situation from a different angle. What if before we broke in, the third person was... I've been looking at it from this angle from the very beginning! This is the first anyone's acknowledged it. what if Maya had left that room somehow? If I could prove that either one of those conditions were true... Mr. Wright, let's hear what you've come up with. I think what happened before we forced our way into the channeling chamber is... a third person had entered it. Your Honor, I would like to present some evidence. I have proof that there was someone else in the room before the murder took place. And I believe I can prove it because this key was not supposed to have been in Pearl's possession, and yet we found it in her hands. Please take a good look at this. Okay, I've already seen it. Thank you. And what is the purpose of this item? Don't you see, Your Honor? I don't think you actually see what you are doing. I think it is the court that should be sighing at you, Mr. Wright. Ouch, that stung. Wait, what? Wait a damn minute. Think it over again? Maybe it's that Maya had left the room. Because actually the key would line up a little bit better with that. Maya had left the channeling chamber at some point. The defense can prove it. Oh, how foolish a fool makes a foolish face while dreaming foolishly foolish dreams. Maya Fey was being looked after by her aunt Morgan Fey. The chances of her leaving the crime scene is lower than that detective's salary. Anyway, let's see some evidence. Prove that from the murder until the time of the arrest, the defendant had left the room. She had the key, and we found it outside. I'm confident this is the piece of evidence we need. Miss Hart, do you remember this key? Well, I've seen it. Hey, that's the channeling chamber key, right? Before the channeling started, Maya locked the door from inside with that. The defendant herself locked the door? Yeah, that's why we all couldn't get the door open. That key's the only piece of it, the only one of its kind, after all. Oh, one of a kind, you say? Wait, Mr. Phoenix Wright. Yes, it looks like she's catching on. I'm afraid to ask, but why is that key currently in your possession? Huh? What do you mean? If Maya Fey locked herself in, then the key should have been with her. Yes, agreed. However, she did not have the key at the time of her arrest. Ah, well, ain't that a kick? So how come you're holding it? I got this as a present from a certain little girl. And that little girl was nowhere near the crime scene at the time. That's preposterous! This means that Maya Fey must have left the room. If she had not, then I would not be holding this key you see before you. No! Yeah, never mind that, Haretsu, it's fine. It seems we've come to an impasse. This picture has clearly captured the face of the murderer. However, is this person the defendant or not? The defense is arguing that this person is not the defendant. Furthermore, as proof, this key has been submitted as evidence. Ms. Von Karma, how can this be? At this point in time, a verdict on the defendant's guilt is not possible. My perfect case! How is there a flaw in my perfect case? Don't think you've won yet, Mr. Phoenix Wright. I'm a prodigy. I have never lost a case. I don't intend to lose here in this courtroom to a fool like you. I don't care what I have to do. I will get my guilty verdict. That's enough. If you would like to continue, do so in the lobby. Court will reconvene tomorrow at 10 a.m. That is all. Court is adjourned. Yeah. Time to go gather some evidence. Wow! That was you, Pearly? You summoned my sis? Yes, I felt I had no choice. Great going, Pearly. I knew you were special. Hey, Nick, did you know? Yeah, it's not like anyone else in there could have done that. Huh, Nick, I know you're trying really hard and all, but I really don't remember ever leaving that room. And I don't think that a third person could have gone in that room. Yeah. Well, at least until we have until tomorrow to figure things out. Like what happened in that room, for instance. Yeah, I'm counting on you. Oh, I envy the two of you. Oh, by the way, Nick, do you think you could take Pearly back home for me? Sure. All right, Pearls, you ready to go buy some tickets? Huh? A ticket? Poor thing, so sheltered. Ugh. Maybe we'd better save. Maybe I'd better not bloody mess up again, because... Yeah, maybe she can, Jave Man, all by herself. She made it here. What's the problem? It's fine. Yeah, she ran a 2-hour train journey, know a lot. At this point, considering her clan can channel spirits, I would be surprised if they couldn't just teleport. Ah, jeez. Yeah, I guess so, Random Pers. Pearl is definitely the real deal. At this point. Hello, Ultra Chibi. Channel a horror. Why? Why, Sokar? Pearl channeled the ghost of Usain Bolt. Yeah. He's not dead, though. Oh my god. I tell you what, though, everybody. I need to go channel some food right now, because I am starving. I have not eaten yet since getting home. And I had not eaten yet before getting home since lunch. So, I gotta go get some food. And I probably also should go get some rest. So what we are going to do is we're going to go raid my friend Milan, who is playing some Resident Evil 4. Yeah, feed my flesh prison. That's an interesting way to put it, Nitch. But yeah, I do have to go feed my face. I got to go get some dinner and some bed, as I say sometimes. But I will resume streaming tomorrow. I will be back here again, and we will continue this case. Thank you all so very much for joining me today. I really appreciate everyone's company and support. And I look forward to catching all of you tomorrow. Let's go show Milan some love. I think if you haven't met her already, you guys will really like her. She's very sweet. So I will catch all of you tomorrow. Thank you all again. And I look forward to seeing you then. Take care, everybody.